Federal law allows citizens to reproduce, distribute, or exhibit portions of copyrighted motion pictures, videotapes, or video discs under certain circumstances without authorization of the copyright holder. This infringement of copyright is called fair use, and is allowed for purposes of criticism, news reporting, teaching, and parody. This means you. Let's talk about Buzz on Maggie. I feel Buzz on Maggie was kind of underrated. Sure, it wasn't the best show of 2005, far from it, but I feel like it was quirky and with an attitude I can get behind. I know I may come off as a prude at times, and I'll explain more about that before the year's over with another episode of Teen Titans Go, which will probably pop up as soon as Disney Month is truly over. I've been doing a lot of thinking about how I review, and I've come to a conclusion that I still haven't found my own voice and style yet. I don't want to come off as another Mr. Inter or Pie Guy Rules, and as it stands now, I feel like I've kind of based my style on both of theirs, and by that I mean the style of the review, not the style of the video. I actually currently really like how I do the videos themselves, but I feel like my scripting is just a blatant rip-off of two people who do their shtick better than I do. I want my reviews to come off as they truly are. Opinions. And that's why for the past 6 reviews I've put up a disclaimer at the beginning of every video to say that these reviews are only opinions. I'm a hobbyist, not a professional. I don't have any credibility to my name as I didn't go to film school or anything along those lines. I'm 18. How could I? And as such, you should take what I say with a grain of salt. Even if I don't like an episode to a show, I highly recommend you check out the episodes for yourselves to get your own opinion on it. And who knows, you may agree or you may disagree. Either way, I always want to hear your opinions on an episode I have reviewed, especially if you've seen them already. What does this have to do with Buzz on Maggie, I hear you ask? Well, any time I hear this show brought up around normal people who don't take cartoons seriously to an almost autistic degree, it's more than often not put into a bad light. Sure, critics at the time loved it, but an average viewer won't always agree with critics, and in the case of Buzz on Maggie, at least in my own experience, the viewers really don't agree on the critics. I suppose some of it can be credited to the fact that this show was released in 2005, and a lot of people, again, from my own experience, have kind of deemed that the start of the dark ages in animated television, as that's when shows like Johnny Test, Time Warp Trio, Robot Boy, 12-Ounce Mouse, Early American Dad, American Dragon, Jake Long, Coconut Fruit Salad Island, Go Diego Go, Crypto the Super Dog, Lunatics Unleashed, and Bratz started airing on the television stations. So people wrote off most shows that came out around that time as either bad or forgettable, with a few exceptions of the Boondocks, Ben 10, the original series, and Avatar The Last Airbender, and to a certain extent I don't feel that's very fair, which is why I bring this particular show up. Now, one thing that can really disappoint me, especially when it comes to cartoons, is when they have a great basic premise that goes basically nowhere and they do nothing with it. While rewatching episodes of this ever short-lived show, they certainly did not do this often. Almost every episode would bring up a premise that they focused on, whether it be good or bad. They still did something with it, normally. And it was over the top and crazy, which I understand can get on the nerves of some, but I feel like if you're gonna do something that's normally simple and mundane, do it with a spin on it. If a character is going to watch television, give us something bizarre on television that really expands your creativity. I'm going to sound a bit hypocritical saying this, don't just turn on the TV and have the news going on. No one is going to care about that shit. Family Guy, I'm looking at you. There are a few episodes I can use to describe what I mean by using the simple premise to your advantage, but I feel for video 3 of Disney Month, I will take the simple premise of building a historical diorama that quickly turned into foot-in-your-mouth story. If you don't know what I mean by that, look up the term having a foot in your mouth, you'll get it. Or you can just watch the rest of this video. So the episode starts with the teacher, Mr. Buckspit, giving out an assignment to create a historical diorama over the course of a break. Which, to be fair, is just an awful thing for a teacher to do. Bugspit is played by Curtis Armstrong, whose most notable role that I can spot is Dan from Dan Versus, which one day I will review in the future. At home, Maggie complains about the project when Clancy Pesky, the father, comes in and tells him about his diorama. Maggie asks if he still has it to try to cheat, and the father says he doesn't have it anymore. So Maggie tries to cheat using an online store that sells historical dioramas. Her friend Raina, played by Cree Summers, states that Bugspit will accuse her of cheating, so she tries to add more to her plan of procrastination by calling Bugspit over for dinner, where she can show Bugspit that she worked on the project. However, bugs comes over more often, causing Maggie to work more and more on her project, thus making her do all the work that she was trying to get out of doing. This is a great idea, honestly. A lot of the time, Maggie does the best she can to avoid as much work as possible, being the slacker of the cartoon. And the fact that she tries twice as hard to get out of the work usually ends up in some fun hijinks. So yeah, this episode could be seen as par for the course. However, the reason this is an animated angel is due to the fact that she doesn't get out of the work and feels accomplished in the end by actually doing said work. The premise of building dioramas seems like a snooze fest, and for the most part it really would be. However, the struggle to do nothing but still get the work done really sets a truly ironic tone, and thus what I and others would call putting your foot in your mouth. The jokes in this episode are also a little silly, and sure, maybe a little bit juvenile, but still make me chuckle nevertheless.
I don't know how this could get any worse.
Ahoy, lasses!
My eyes!
Thought I'd better shower up. Worked up a hearty sweat on deck. Might you direct your captain to the linen closet for a loofah? Excellent. Carry on.
Don't take this the wrong way, but I can't come over here. Ever again.
The ending is a bit bitter, what with the fact Maggie didn't break any rules this episode, so it does lose a point on that ground. But the timing of the jokes are really solid most of the time, the premise of the episode is simple and strange, and even a lot of the writing is fast yet spot on. If you're one of those people who thought 2005 was full of some really shitty shows, I'd check out Buzz on Maggie. You may be pleasantly surprised. I'll see you guys next time with an episode of a good show that goes terribly, terribly wrong. See you guys next time with Gravity Falls as Carpet Diem. Also, I need to study for the GED because I've been procrastinating that a good amount of this month, so gotta learn something. Yeah.
I'm strange and I like it. That's just the way I am. I can't change, I can't hide it.
If you would like to get caught up on future reviews, there's a link in the description below to a Facebook page. Basically, all that I'm gonna tell you. I mean, you can follow it. You can get all the updates to future reviews if you care. If not, I'm not gonna force you to do it. It's all up to you.